Hello, hello, family. Welcome to another episode of the Eugene Hamilton Podcast. Yes, Grow Squad. I am so glad to reconnect with you this week. Hope that you've been doing well. Hope that you and your family are thriving. I hope that you, in fact, are laying hold of all those things that you've dreamed about, you've prayed about, and that you deserve and desire. Today, I want to just dig right into our topic for today. Let's go ahead and pray and get moving forward. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for yesterday, looking forward to tomorrow, but we thank you for this moment where we can just breathe a little bit, breathe in, breathe out, and just have dialogue. We pray that you would guide us, give us hearts to grasp what you have to say to us, give us listening ears to hear, and move our feet toward those things you have in store for us. In your name, amen. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the impact of distractions. Yeah. And I think it's important, especially as we are in moving toward the fourth quarter. I think we're at the end of the third quarter, moving toward the fourth quarter of 2025. And many of you know by now that distractions are real. I mean, not real as in you thought they were fake, but distractions, let me say it this way. Have you ever, nod with me, snap your fingers if you're listening on audio, whatever it is, right? Have you ever had a distraction in your life? You knew it was a distraction, but you thought it was no big deal. Right. Yeah. You knew the thing or the person or the habit or even the hobby. You know, it's funny because I talk to people all the time who think that distractions are only negative things like, oh, I don't drink, or I don't smoke, or I don't go out. Cool. I'm glad you don't, if that's your decision. Cool. I'm with you. I don't either, right? Those are choices I've made too in my life. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't go out. Those things are cool. But oftentimes we go to the extreme when it comes to distractions, right? What if you just have a habit of scrolling through your phone, like what they call it, doom scrolling? Distraction. Yeah, what seemed like it's innocent, what seems like it just is a way to pass by a few moments. In fact, have you ever been doing something like doom scrolling or like watching your favorite show or like playing video games? In fact, it's funny because I had someone tell me the other day, I was speaking to an audience of all adults, everyone who was over 35 years of age, and I made reference to video games. And this guy came up to me later and he laughed at me because I almost apologized for making the reference to video games with a room full of adults. He said, man, you'd be surprised. About 70% of us in this room, we all play video games. So we understood exactly your analogy. We understood your illustration and we knew where you were coming from. Check it out. Distractions come in all shapes, sizes, forms, colors. Distractions are real. And sometimes your distraction can seem like a non-distraction until it becomes one. Have you ever been driving down the road and been distracted for just a moment, and all of a sudden you heard those ridges hitting your tires? All it takes is for a split second, a distraction will take you off your target. A distraction will take you off. Check this out. And you know, I talk a lot about this fitness, weight loss kind of thing that I've been yo-yoing with for the past few years. And I am a living testimony. You ever heard somebody say you can't outwork a bad diet? I'm the poster child for doing my best to try to, I'm thinking to myself, that's a myth. No, that's real. You can work as hard as you want at the gym, but if your diet doesn't match what you're doing in the gym, it's difficult to overcome that challenge. But however, have you ever had something maybe in your life that you were supposed to remove? And I use diet as an example. It could be anything, right? Maybe you like, I don't want to give up these chocolate chip cookies, so I don't eat 5, but I eat 1 a day. But it's still like you're trying to get rid of that stubborn, those love handles, whatever it is. Distraction had the potential to get you off course if you don't get a handle on them. And there are three major distractions or main distractions I want to kind of give you a bit of insight on to kind of help both myself and you try to get a better handle on. And the three common distractions I want to attack head on. Number one is digital overload. I just mentioned 2.5 minutes ago about this whole doom scrolling kind of thing. I mean, have you ever seen the power of social media? Is so powerful, I should say, that you could find yourself going down a rabbit hole of sorts. And before you know it, you've wasted away a work day. You've wasted time. And one of the things that is, man, I am still working on this because my son will call me out. He'll call my wife out. He knows if the phone is distracting us and we're just saying, yeah, go ahead. And we're being distracted by something else. Most of the times it's distracted by, and again, it may not be doom scrolling. It could be the fact that your phone is now a computer. So your emails are on there. You have text messages on there. You have work stuff on there. You have your note section on your phone. Even now, when I prepare for a podcast episode, it first goes into the note section on my iPhone. So we use our phones for everything, right? So when I say digital overload, although it seems like I'm attacking or highlighting is a better way to say it, highlighting social media, phones in general, whatever section on the phone that you're on, whatever app, right, grabs your attention and keeps it there, I want you to know, and I want you to understand, I should say is a better word, that it's high time for you and I to address the issue and put boundaries up for ourselves, or else digital overload will be our Achilles heel. We've got to learn how to exercise discipline when it comes to those things that we have access to digitally. Not even just your phone, Netflix, right? All these streaming services, Hulu, all of them, Peacock, all of them. If we don't put boundaries up for ourselves, if we don't put time limits up for ourselves, right now it's funny because I thought it was, I don't want to say, it wasn't the best idea for me. I thought initially when my wife decided to use the timer on the phone to help my son get in line. I'm like, your voice is enough. If he tells you to do something, he should do it. But then I realized and recognize, hey, sometimes like you and like me, we need reinforcements. So if we're somewhere, let's say we're in an indoor playground somewhere and it's time to go, right? We've got 5 minutes left. Now, if he hears the timer go off, he's like, oh, boom. Okay, time to go. No argument. And sometimes for you, sometimes for me, we've got to put timers up for ourselves, even as grown adults. And say, hey, after this time, no more. You got 20 minutes or you can only watch one TV show. And now get back to tackling your goals. You've only got whatever amount of time you got, and then get back to doing what you're supposed to do in order to reach those desired aspirations. Digital overload is a common distraction. But the next common distraction is, check this out, and I heard I think it was Ryan Clark from the Pivot podcast, and of course ESPN analyst and former Pittsburgh Steeler. He was mentioning, in fact, I know exactly where it was. He talked about the fact that, and that this is the second point, I put 3 up, but number 2, I want to talk a little bit about perfectionism. Because sometimes perfectionism can be a distraction. And I like the way that Ryan kind of put out this idea of, man, how did he say it? He said, don't allow perfectionism to be your new way to procrastinate. And I may be paraphrasing that. I may be a little off with how I'm saying it, but as I'm trying to marry that with my idea, I understood, man, it was so powerful that sometimes people will delay doing something because they're waiting for the perfect moment or to get it perfect. And so now they're using the fact that, oh, I don't have it all together, so I can't do it yet. They're using perfectionism to delay getting started because they're actually scared to get going. They actually have enough of whatever they need to get going. They actually have enough of what they need to get started. But because they don't really want to start, because they really are afraid of failure, they will use over and over again, it's not all perfect yet. And they use that as a new way of procrastinating. Don't let perfectionism be a distraction for you. Yeah. You know how many things, I'll go ahead and put it out here. I'm in the process of, I think I told you maybe last episode of writing another book, right? And I said another book, the first book, just if you're just joining me, just tuning in, just finding out who I am. My first book was a children's book, or is a children's book called Go, Grow, Glow, right? And one of the things about that book, I kind of just sat on it for months. Again, because perfectionism, the bug had caught me. And I said to myself, oh, it's not perfect. Now, I'm using it's not perfect, it's not ready yet, to delay getting it ready. Right? I'm using these excuses because I'm not so much afraid, but I didn't want to put in the extra work or the extra money or the extra time or whatever. I didn't want to pay the editor, whatever the case might. I don't remember exactly what it was at first, but I kept using these excuses. And it was all centered around, it ain't perfect yet. But the funny part is, if you open that book right now, there's some things in there that still aren't perfect. It's published. It's been out almost a year. It's September. I think it came out last November of 2024. Yeah, exactly. In fact, it did come out November 2024 because I celebrated a little bit when I went home to see my family for Thanksgiving, right? So the book was already out. But check it out. Every time I speak with you or to you, it's around something that's either happened to me or is happening to me. Like I've already gone through it or I'm currently going through it. Just in full transparency. And so I know what it means to delay doing something and using perfectionism as my excuse. So how do I get around that? I think it was the great Napoleon Hill who said, do it now. Yeah. Just as soon as I feel the nudge to go ahead and handle my business, to press send or whatever the case might be, do it now. That will, I promise you, a lot of times procrastination happens because we allow ourselves to push snooze. I'm not just talking about your alarm clock. We press snooze on writing a book. We press snooze on sending that email. We press snooze on replying to that text message. We press snooze on actually going to the person that we've wronged and asking for forgiveness. Why are you delaying it? It only makes it worse. We press snooze on leveling up in our lives. We press snooze on making sure that we show up as fathers, as husbands. We love to press snooze in our lives. And the thing about it is, I got a buddy of mine who, I don't know, for some reason he's convinced himself that if he presses snooze, once those 5-8 minutes pass, the problem is going to disappear. No, it's still right there. I can delay it. But once that alarm goes off again, the issue, the challenge, the hurdle, the assignment, the next step that I need to take, it's still there. So the way that I work around and work with this disease of perfectionism, as it were, just do it. And do it now. Then lastly, Another common distraction that so many people, including myself, have had to work through is choosing our company wisely. Choosing the people that we take advice from wisely. Choosing the people that we share our ideas with. Choosing them wisely. Understanding, and I think many people forget that our circles really influence us. Not just our behavior, but they influence our thought processes. They influence our vision, our ability to forecast. And I mean, have you ever been around someone who everything that you bring up, there's a negative response to it? After a while, you find yourself either holding back telling them or holding back on your dreams. You find yourself in many cases in a situation where, and I get it, well, if you surround yourself with people who don't believe like you. Now, this is funny because I was just having a conversation the other day, and of course there's an extreme. You know, I hear people all the time, get rid of negative people. Get rid of, some people call them losers. Get rid of people in your life, and I understand that. But for some reason or another, I mean, if you have a family, I still grow on my family. They're not high. Some of them don't dream the same way that I dream. If you got folk that's cousins and folks that you maybe go to a reunion, I don't know, maybe sometimes in your life you go around people who don't have the same vision as you do. That doesn't mean you cut them off. No. I'm saying when you're trying to fulfill a dream, when you're trying to climb, when you're trying to ensure that you're doing everything that you can to elevate in life, you've got to ensure you have the right amount of people, or the right people around you, I should say, that will help you balance that thing out and move forward. So here it is, and I'll wrap up this way. Distractions, whether it's apparent, whether you see it out the gate, distractions impact every area of your life, and it's up to you to address them. Distractions don't disappear. Distractions don't evaporate. Distractions don't hide in the corner. You've got to tackle those distractions. You've got to put up boundaries. You've got to ensure that you're doing everything that you can to tackle those distractions head on. Move forward and do exactly what you need to do to ensure that distractions don't veer you off the road and get you off course. Listen, Growth Squad, I hope that you understand the importance of ensuring that you rid yourself of those distractions in your life. I hope that today, in fact, share this out. I hope that I've said something today that will help you take inventory of your surroundings, of your mindset, of how you handle the digital space. Take inventory of how you're moving about in life, and ensure that you understand that the impact of distractions is serious, but it's up to you to turn that thing around. Listen, go ahead. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Send this to somebody right now that is distracted. Send it to them right now. Somebody you know that's distracted in life. They're supposed to be doing something, but they're over here doing something totally. Send this message out to them, and I promise you it'll bless them and their efforts to turn that thing around and move forward. Listen, I'll see you next week. I hope that throughout the time between now and next week, I hope that you're going, that you're growing, and that you're glowing. I'm praying for you, and I'll connect with you soon. Take care. Peace.